Hi, welcome to my channel to listen to sinister stories. In January of last year, when I was just 16 years old, I fell victim to an incident that was both horrifying and deeply embarrassing. It was a Wednesday, and I was at home recovering from a severe case of the flu. Being from a privileged background, my family lived in a large house with an ensuite bathroom connected to my bedroom. Little did I know, this bathroom would become the setting for a terrifying experience. Unbeknownst to me, my parents had arranged for a technician to check our fire alarms on that particular day. Given the size of our house and the regulations in my country, having multiple fire alarms was a necessity. The person assigned to this task, let's call him Bob, had known me since childhood. Unfortunately, my parents had failed to inform me of Bob's visit. It was around 11:00, and I was still in bed, feeling weak and sorry for myself. Seeking some relief from my pounding headache, I decided to spend some alone time while no one else was home. I believed this would alleviate my discomfort. But little did I know, this simple act would unravel a series of terrifying events. Lost in my own world, I paid no attention to my surroundings. Completely focused on myself, I failed to notice the presence of another person. When I finally snapped back to reality, I froze in sheer terror. Standing in my doorway was Bob, wearing a disturbing grin on his face. I felt a paralyzing fear consume me as I wondered how long he had been there, what he had witnessed, and how much he knew. The gravity of the situation became apparent when I noticed his hand on his crotch, and he uttered a low, unsettling voice. He revealed that he had only come to inspect the alarm, but his intentions and demeanor conveyed something far more sinister. Without wasting a moment, I grabbed my duvet and fled into the safety of the ensuite bathroom, locking the door behind me. Feeling violated and overwhelmed by fear and shame, I huddled on the bathroom floor, unable to comprehend the depths of the violation I had experienced. Even though I knew I had done nothing wrong, I couldn't shake off the feeling of complete vulnerability. The fact that Bob, someone who had known me since I was a child, was aroused and had likely watched me for an extended period made me sick to my core. The options before me were uncertain, but the thought of leaving that bathroom and facing Bob's potential harm was simply too great a risk. For hours, I remained trapped in that bathroom, pondering the passage of time. Unsure if Bob had finished his inspection and concerned about the safety of the house, I had left my phone behind in my room. The minutes ticked by as I wrestled with the idea of confronting my parents. The embarrassment weighing heavily on me, I ultimately decided to keep this ordeal to myself. Know what she was up to or why she had parked her car outside of my house for a while after giving me my order. But something felt totally off about the situation. My friend and I both slept in the living room on the different couches with a bunch of blankets on us. We were both really spooked out by the encounter. I haven't ordered from that takeaway since, but to be fair, I rarely order out. Anyway, it's a twice-a-year type of thing. Me and my friend spoke to some other people, and it was suggested to us that maybe the girl was on drugs or something. I guess that is possible. But how was she able to drive if that was the case? And why would she drive around the back of our house and then walk through our back garden to knock on the door? I know this story might not be that scary to a lot of you, but it really irritates me because it's a very odd situation, and I'll never really know what the hell she was trying to do. I live in New Delhi, India, and this happened around 5 to 6 years ago when I was home alone to understand my house layout. We have a 4-bedroom hall kitchen house, and we also have our own terrace, which will be important later in the story. It was around 2 in the morning, and I was scrolling through the internet when I suddenly heard a sound of glass breaking. I peeked out of my bedroom window, and there was nothing there, so I again started using my phone 5 minutes later. I again heard a sound of glass breaking directly above me, so I thought of going to the terrace and investigate what's going on. When I was about out of reach of my terrace, I heard people talking and laughing. I opened my terrace door slightly, and I noticed there were 3 men on my terrace drinking beers. I then shout out, "Who are you, and what are you doing to my house?" I know it was childish of me to react like that instead of hiding, but I just didn't understand why these guys were at my house. Now they know that someone's in the house, and they all looked at me for a few seconds. Then one of them took out a huge knife and started running towards me. I ran downstairs and I locked myself in my room, and they then started banging on my door very hard. I actually thought that they were going to break it at one point. Then one of them said in a very creepy tone, "Come out now, and we'll make this less painful for you." I was terrified, and I called the cops right away. It took them like 15 minutes to arrive. Fortunately, the men were Still in my bedroom door, the cops had heard all of the cum and then forcefully broke in and then successfully caught the crazy men. Those men never explained how they got into my terrace, and that's the most scary part. I still have no idea how and why those men did this. I know that they went to jail, but that's all I really know. I don't know anything else about what happened to them. But I really hope they were in there for a long time and that they truly get what they deserve is. If you could not be afraid, see this playlist of evil stories.